Good day. Our topic for today is waves of innovation and predicting the future. We know that the technology has a tremendous impact on both individual firms and industries. So a business needs to understand what might happen in the near future. Predictions should be possible, but they require insight aided by the use of various tools and methods, including specific techniques that a firm or individual can better understand on how technology may change in the future. This lesson also examines the technological changes and methods of predicting them. But first, we discuss the historical perspective on innovation that can help us to understand how things may change in the future. So we have long wave theory of economics, pattern of change by Nikolai Kondratiev, an economist that asserted the capitalistic economies experienced the long wave cycles of 40 to 60 years in length. Second, saying that the initial period of innovation and change, but ultimately the technology will gain dominance and will be used for an extended time period. Third, there will be another major innovation that will be displaced the existing technology and will gain dominance for another 30 to 60 years. The innovation commonly happen in multiple industry, not a single industry. So, a long wave theory offers the promising avenue to understand the complex relationship between technology and economic development. This long wave theory also provides a useful conceptual tool for understanding the transition from the industrial to post-industrial economy. Consider in this way the future pattern of long waves is more likely to be bring out than to stop. So we have five waves of technology innovation in 19th century. We have survival wave, the railroad wave, the auto wave, the jet wave, and the internet wave. So on survival wave, business enterprises had a simple administrative structure. The technology was relatively simple, and the focus of the firm was on survival. The second, this administrative innovation significantly increased the ability of industrial enterprises and other organizations to grow and deal with the increasing complexity of their internal and external environment. So third, we have auto wave development of the automobile. This is innovation give people more mobility. So fourth, jet wave. Humans can now travel around the world in hours rather than days or weeks. Microprocessors and satellites allows almost instantaneous information transfer. Internet wave. The innovation of fiber optics and the internet have led to instant voice, image, and text communication. So as you can see, figure A4.1, we distinguish the time started, the travel communication mode, the new inputs, the driving sector, or the key activity, the emerging sector, and the organizational structure of each technology wave or wave of technology. So we have survival, the railroad, auto, and jet and internet. So there is a time from survival. We have pre to 1850, in railroad 1850 to 1910, in auto 1910 to 1960, in jet wave we have 1960 to 2000, and internet is 2000 to present. As you can see, there is a big innovation, big change in information, in product, in the process, and even the structure or the organizational structure. But we should discuss the organizational structure of each wave. So the simple organizational structures, the arrangement does not rely on formal systems of division of labor, often because one person only performs all the tasks that the organization needs to accomplish. So second, the functional organizational structure, which is the organizational structure of the second wave. So the functional organization structure is the arrangement whereby the employees are divided into the departments that each handle activities related to an area of business such as marketing, production, human resources, information technology, and customer service. So next, we have divisional organizational structure. In this divisional organizational structure, the arrangement whereby employees are divided into departments based on the products, services, and geographic regions. So, very large companies with a wide variety of business and wide market coverage demonstrate the superiority of divisional system. So, fourth, we have matrix organizational structure, which is the arrangement that relies heavily on cross-functional teams that each work on the different project. So this matrix is a newly evolving organization structure, also known as project management structure. Each employee in a matrix unit reports into two bosses, a functional manager and the product or project manager. This means that there are dual lines of authority in matrix organization. So as seen in the figure, there's a vertical change of command for the function of production, finance, marketing, research and development, as also the quality assurance. Uh, Fifth, we have satellite or virtual organizational structure. This virtual organizational structure facilitates the introduction of intelligent agents that can at the same time implement numerous orientation for network engagement with the market and its customer. One of strategy is to have a house employee or the in-house employees concentrate on the firm's core business and use virtual employees to do everything else. So we have technological innovation as the driver of the long waves. So Schumpeter associated with cumulative 40 to 60-year waves with innovation that emerged from entrepreneurial efforts. Schumpeter argued that innovation was the basic function of the entrepreneur in capitalist societies. So as you can see in the figure, the product innovation from the high variety dominant design to incremental innovation on standardized product. On the process innovation, the manufacturing progresses from heavy reliance on skilled labor and general purpose equipment to specialized equipment tended by the low skilled worker. In the technology life cycle, it defines how the technology and the process affect the business process and the impact of the entire life cycle. So we have stages. We have intro stage, the growth stage, maturity stage, and decline stage of this cycle. So there are several points on which the techno-economic forecasters agree. Number one, long wave cycles in economic growth to exist, although some disagreement exists as the exact time of the cycle. Second, this cycle are associated with a significant fluctuation in the price of important commodities. Third, there are also associated with waves with the basic technological innovation that are generally by fostered by the decline of previous cycle. Fourth, in each wave, dominant technology can be identified that are associated with primary energy sources. The fifth, in each wave, organization and structure innovations develop that allow organization to take advantage of innovation generated. So we have implication of long waves. So number one, each innovation wave has led to the emergence of new organization. Example. So example of this is prior to 1850, most business enterprises had a minimal information processing requirements. So technological innovation influences the organizational structure or organizational population profoundly by disrupting markets, changing the relative importance of resources, challenging the organizational learning capabilities, and the basis of the competition. So second, the increase the amount of information that is relevant to the organization decrease the time lags involved in the processing the information and making decision. So the during in railroad wave with the telegraph information, it shortened the weeks or the days to transfer the data. So third, organizational structures that have led uh, the emergence and decentralize the decision making and spread the organization geographically. So we have methods for viewing the future looking to 5 to 10 years. So first, from Bangston, no? From first, we have extrapolation is based on the premise that future will represent the logical extension of the past. So this process assumes that the patterns of the past will continue into the future in a reasonably predictable manner. Second, pattern analysis is based on the belief that the future will replace past events. So based on the belief that the future will replicate the past events, saying that history repeats itself is the basis of this view of the future. Third, goal analysis is based on self-determination type of model. So the stakeholder actions taken by it will determine the future direction of technology and the organization. So number four, counterpunching involves the belief that the future will result from from events and actions that cannot be predicted and maybe even be random. So counterpunchers believe the future will result from unpredictable events and actions. So fifth, intuition involves gut feeling about the forces that will shape the future. So six, techniques or methods that can improve the odds of the guess. So number one, we have trend extrapolation. Second, the expert consensus. The third, simulation methods. Fourth, the scenario building. Fifth, the decision trees. And the sixth is hybrid methods. So number one, we have trend extrapolation. So it is examined based on the historical data. So second, the expert consensus. We have forecasters or are based or the forecasting are based on judgment of the consensus of the experts. So third, simulation methods. So on the simulation methods, by using of simulation methods, it relies on analogs to model the complex system. Example, an airplane simulator with a mathematical analog can be designed to predict the event occurring. So it formulates to see such crashes can be prevented in the future. So for the scenario building, the development of this worst case scenario or most likely scenario. The five decision trees. It is originating developed as geographical representation of alternative choices based on yes or no question. This decision support system emerge a mathematical probabilities, risk factor, utility measures, and expected value to be calculated and factored into the for forecast. Six, we have hybrid methods. So in hybrid methods, we can define wait. In hybrid methods, these methods combine several approaches to gain different views of what the future might hold. These hybrid methods have developed of several reasons. The need to view the future from several vantage points is the strongest reason using this hybrid method. Each forecasting technique has its own strengths and weaknesses. By using several methods, the firm can potentially improve the chances for successful forecasting. The second reason for hybrid method is that the goal is accuracy. Some areas of the firm have better quantitative data for an analysis and some must rely more on expert judgment by using the best methods for the data available that the firm should have better result. So we have predicted future technologies New waves of technology have already begun to develop. This technology will impact the economy. A few of the more interesting of the promising new technologies are briefly reviewed here. So we have a biosensor, the fuel cell vehicle, the smart grid or the smart meter, the solar arrays. So now we discuss it one by one. By biosensor, it is used in medical field. So there are small sensors that attach on the patient and constantly monitor the heart rate of the blood pressure. So Nicholas Kotov, for additional information, the chemical engineer has transformed the fabric on the biosensor and the electronic conductor simply by dipping it into the solution of carbon monotubes with antibodies and the polymer. So this service is to provide the constant feedback of your health or our health that could alert some abnormalities that may cause. So no. Second, predicted future technology is the fuel cell vehicle. Fuel cells that are more powerful and eco-friendly. So they have a electric vehicle. So third, the smart grids. So smart grids or smart meter is is for the transmission of electricity. This system will help us the it will help it will help the energy company to identify the peak and lags in the consumption, limit the electricity loss, and enable them to distribute the loads more efficiently and effectively. So it managed the electricity consumption at the real time. So the fourth predicted future technology is the solar arrays. So the array of the solar panel could be placed into the orbit. So these panels would then beam to the solar power back to a receptor for the conversion into electricity. So building the array with a portion of the orbit around the Earth, this is also mean that there is a continuous flow of solar energy without any interruption from weather or in the nighttime. For now, it is still in the development mode. So we have application to MTI or the application to management technology innovation. So number one, the developments in other industries and fields of the study. So look for opportunities and threats from the other area. So we can now evaluate the trends and events in the hope of identifying opportunities in the marketplace and developing the competitive advantage. So second, watch out the vested interests that provide information. Second, a third, new processes and technology have to add value for individual groups before they will be accepted. Fourth, potential mistakes are easier to avoid if multiple perspectives are used in the analysis. Fifth, take time for new technologies to realize their potential value. Example of this is the original iPad by Apple revolutionized music availability. So, however, Apple was not a phone company. When Apple and iPad combined, it revolutionized to become a cell phone. So, Apple continues to develop the iPhone. So, for summary, this appendix or this lesson has detailed forecasting techniques and methods. In addition, it has demonstrated the continuing cycles of innovation that society and the business are exposed to. So, in this lesson, also, we have emphasized that it is a prepared, forward-looking organization and manager who have best potential for finding competitive advantage. So, for reference, we have two reference. Thank you and God bless.